So I was looking for an article about a phenomenon that I'm aware of is that women will deliberately not tell men why they don't orgasm or no, sorry, what made them orgasm. So if, in other words, if you do something and a woman just feels fantastic, why won't she tell you that it was that specific thing that made her react that way? And I want to talk about that in this video, along with a couple other things that are in this video here, or in this article. And first thing I'll say, this is a woman's magazine. It's called Your Tango, right? And I tell you, there is value in reading women's magazines. Just just once in a while, just read an article. Like if, like, say you're in a somewhere and there's like a magazine there, like a women's magazine. I'm always going to glance through it and say, what's what's on women's minds? Like what are they thinking about? Because women will never, again, they're not going to tell you, but when you read it or when you glance through it, I should say, it's very interesting because it's usually in direct contradiction to what society is telling you. It's like, it's okay to be fat, it's okay to be overweight. It's like, bit loud, what is it, large and in charge and all that. And that every single TV show will have people screaming at people in videos, YouTube videos, about how you accept this. And it's like, you're not human if you don't find that sexually attractive and this and that. But then if you read a women's magazine, usually, almost always, it's about how to lose weight. It's always like how to lose weight, how to lose weight. And desperate. I tried everything. I did this, I did that. So it's like this psyops that's going on with guys. So yeah, finding out what women are talking about is always useful. There's always some use in it. So I'm going to talk about why women don't uh, tell you. Because here's the thing, women complain all the time that guys, they don't know their bodies. They don't understand them. Men don't know anything about women. It's like, well, this is one of those situations, sexuality, where every woman is different. So if a woman doesn't tell you what it is about her that gets her off, right, then you really don't have any way of knowing, right? Now, the one way you have knowing is by watching my video, How to Be the Best She Ever Had. So I'll put that in the description because that one, I give you kind of a trick, how you can get it the first time you fuck her. You can learn at least some things about her. You're never going to learn everything about her sexual fantasies, but just one, you can learn actually some key details, right? Because I think men, whether you're ever dating women or not dating women, half the population is female. And being able to figure them out and deal with them is pretty important stuff, actually. Because they're women no matter where they go. Like they're going to be the same, right? You're going to be dealing with women at work, in your family, and they're just going to do what they do, right? So let me go in here these secrets, and then I'll end on the thing about orgasm. So basically, talking about basically a guy. This is worth reading a little bit. Guy was telling her he had this strange theory about the female species. That right there is interesting. She's like basically looking down on him, making fun of him for having this theory. Now his theory was that what? Women don't cheat. It's not in their nature. Okay, so that was his theory. So basically he had this strange theory, and his theory really was believe all women, if you think about it. And she's like, what a fucking tool. Like, what an idiot. Like, how could he be that stupid? Like, she didn't even call it, she said strange. So that's when a woman is really saying you're weird, right? Like, if a guy's strange, he's strange. It's like, he can't get out of that. That guy's fucked. You know what I mean? He's permanently scarred right there. No, every woman hears that he's strange, and that's it. They don't need to know any details, right? He's strange. Yeah, that's enough, right? Now, if he's super rich and strange, then obviously there's other factors. But generally, strange is one of the worst things a woman can say, because it's saying there's no point with that guy. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like he's quirky or whatever. He's strange. Whatever. I don't want to use the words that will get this video kicked off YouTube, but that's what they mean, right? Okay. So she laughed, of course. So she laughed that he believed what a woman told him. And also, she laughed that he believed essentially in the goodness of women, like that they would be faithful. You know, it's not in their nature to cheat. The guy's really on women's side. He really is. You know, he's like, women are awesome. It's not even in their nature to cheat. There's basically, women are gold, is what he's saying. And she's laughing like, oh my God, what a fucking knucklehead, right? And this is the dichotomy of what's going on. Like, while people are being banned on YouTube for saying things, women's magazines are saying much worse. And everybody's agreeing. So it's so funny. You just have to somewhat understand this psyops that's going on in this around you, right? Like, when you can say, when you shouldn't say. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, anyway. So I wasn't surprised that believe all women was incorrect, right? That he found she'd been two-tying him for most of their relationship. Most. That basically means, what's most?
All.
80%, 90%. Like,
It's all.
it's like, basically, the penis was going in the vagina, let's say 75% of the period in the relationship. So she was getting drilled, wads on her faces, tied up, all the things that she was too shy to do with her boyfriend, she was doing with this other guy. 75%, let's just say, right? But the other 25%, how long it takes time for a woman to find a guy, right? To pick the right guy. So the two-timing means she had another guy. It doesn't mean Tinder. That's not two-timing. So she was doing whatever she was doing to find that guy, and then she was two-timing the guy, the whole relationship, right? Basically. So think about it. As a guy, and here she makes no comments about the girl. There's no comments. Like, there's nothing, like, there's no judgment. There's no like that's terrible. Like, really, that's terrible. I mean really, seriously, that's the anathema. What is that? Anathema of what you want. Like, what is a relationship? A relationship is monogamy. It's being with, you know what I mean? It's like telling the truth, honesty, and monogamy. That's what the whole point of what they are, right? I'm not saying you should have one, but that's what they're about, right? You know, and just like a volleyball partnership, it's two people playing volleyball together, right? There's no other people there. It's doubles, right? You know what I mean? Ping pong, there's no secret people under the table, you know, with paddles coming up and just, you know, that's not allowed, right? You know, that's a different game, right? You know, that's when after a bottle of vodka kind of game, you know, when you're just totally fucking around, right? We used to play beer basketball, you know, we were totally wasted in high school, you know, like we had a beer in one hand and basketball. We played pretty hard too. We'd like do layups and like blocks, and it was fun, you know, trying not to, you know. But anyway, that's a different thing. You're just having fun, right? Okay. So I wasn't surprised. So she wasn't surprised. And that's funny too. That's just hilarious. And also too, let's see, was it her friend? Let's see, this is interesting too. A friend of mine. A friend. So a lot of guys have female friends. So why do you have a female friend? What's the purpose? Most guys have a female friend for a couple reasons. One is because they are somewhat sexually interested. And they're, I guess, I don't know, you can put in the comments why you had them or you have them, but most guys are trying to kind of, I think a lot of it is you're hoping that she's going to tell you stuff. Like she's going to be your secret spy. You know, kind of like looking out for you, right? You know, that's why a girl would have a guy friend while she's dating his friend, because she's like, if anything goes on, he's going to tell me. You know what I mean? Like, he's my... So this is her friend. So if you have friends, right, with female friends, just think about this. What does a female friend mean to her? She's not giving you sex. And she's not telling you. And now, his woman was not her friend. That's a key thing. His woman was not her friend. It's obvious in the way they wrote this. So she didn't know this woman. It was just... She had a friend. He was dating some woman, some random woman who is essentially, you know, quote unquote, a competitor of hers. But even then, right, she did not help this guy. She did not tell him that, for example, it's not in her, she laughed, right? But she didn't say, look, you don't understand women. Like, women will cheat. Like, like she could have said what she was thinking was basically she's probably cheating on you, with an attitude like that. Like, you believe women, that's like a bad sign right there that you're totally naive, right? So let's do some research and find out if this girl is cheating on you. Why don't you set me up with a date with her? This is the kind of thing a guy would do. A guy would say, hey, look, why don't you do this? I hope you're right, but maybe you're not right. So let's find out. So why don't you set me up on a date and I'll go, or sorry, on a girl's night out, and I'll go, and then I'll find out what she's thinking and I'll tell you, right? And then there'd be serious value in a woman who helping a guy that way. But I don't know what friendship was to this woman, but she's making fun of him, calling him strange for believing the good in women, or believing what women say, right?
Call him stupid.
Yeah, she's saying he's stupid, and he's strange. He's an idiot. He's dangerous. The guy is totally dark and absolutely. He has no sexual market value, is what she's saying to her quote unquote friend, and she won't help him out. She just laughed, and again, here's the point: is that she was knowing that this woman's probably cheating, right, with a guy with this attitude, and at the same time, she just laughed. Now, to a woman, here's the thing: when a woman laughs, I pay attention. Okay, if I tell a woman something about women and she laughs, I'm going to immediately be very curious about why she laughed. And I'm going to be very careful questioning her in the right way to figure out what that laugh meant. Because I'm not going to just let that go like she just laughed out of nowhere. Women don't laugh that much. And then she just suddenly laughed when you're telling her you believe in women. You should be like, of course you should be careful because she doesn't consider you worth telling the truth to, but there is still ways to get it out. It's like, wait a second, you have to find a subtle way to find out what she meant. But he didn't, and she didn't explain it. So the article is about why women don't tell the truth, right? And keep secrets and stuff. And here she is doing it right in the story. That's perfect, right? It's just one not telling you after the other. And then there's all these articles, women complaining about what men don't know anything about sex. And now I'm not saying you as a man don't have a responsibility for figuring out anyway. I think you do, and I did. But, that's why I read the women's magazines when I was young, is because I thought, well, this is all I got. This is pretty good stuff. I was reading. I was learning like crazy. I think I actually learned a lot from reading A, women's magazines, and B, the Height Report and all the statistical, McKinsey, all the statistical analysis of sex, where they would do like serious clinical research about sex. I read all those books, and they were like 400 pages long, and I read them over and over and over and over. I wanted to know. I didn't want to be a fool. My whole life, grown men never wanted to be a fool. It's like, if someone's not going to tell me, I want to find out another way. And I want to be the guy who knows. I want to be the guy who's not a fool. And I hope you're that way too. It's not just about, hey, I want to do this so I can get one. It's like, no, you just don't want to be a fool. You don't want to be a joker like this guy, where people are laughing at you, calling you, what did she call him? Strange. I don't want to be that guy, no matter what I'm doing with women at all. I want to be the guy who's like, I don't have to tell people I know, but I know. Or at least I have a good clue, right? What might be the case, right? So anyway, there are many things that men don't know about women, mainly because we don't want them to know, okay? This goes directly into this whole article flies in the face of believe all women. It really does. This tells you how foolish that is, just to believe people. And there's even more than just the secrets themselves. Because here we go. During my 2.5 years of interviewing countless women, so she's in a great position because she's a journalist, she's writing for a popular magazine, and she's interviewing countless women. That's gold right there. So she knows more than most, this one, right? So this woman, like Don't think that every woman you ask a woman her advice, it's going to be equal. It's whenever you're in the media and you're interviewing people, it's like you learn so much. And same with Ronin, man. Like running this channel and interviewing guys all the time and having to do research, my body of knowledge is getting deeper and deeper and deeper that I wouldn't have just as myself, because I'm being asked questions and I'm like saying things that people asking me about them, and I'm like, what did I mean by that, or where did I get that information, And so it's like my knowledge is getting more just because I'm focusing on it and I'm putting stuff out there and getting stuff back. So that's what she's doing. She's actually in a prime position. So let's see what she has to say. Why do women keep secrets from men? Most of the time, women keep secrets that are personal to them, how they see their body. And I learned that a long time ago. Most women don't see themselves. And what's interesting in this article, she doesn't go into details. What she means is bad. Okay, she doesn't mean that they see their bodies as super, super hot or anything. No, it means that women see their bodies, all the flaws in their bodies. That's what women see. So you think about it, a woman sees her totally as flawed. She knows every detail about what's wrong with her face, what's wrong with her neck, why her ears stick out, why her hands are like too short, why her legs are too like short and fat, and what she knows all these, why this droops and that droops, or the hair is stringy, or the color changes, or the skin is fucked up here or there. She knows all this stuff about herself, but she's never going to tell you. She's never going to tell her. She sees herself as not that attractive. And so think about that. What does that mean to you as a man? It's a touchy one, right? How do you handle that one? It's a difficult one, because if you tell her she's an angel, right, that she's so beautiful, right, what would that, if you knew, let's say you knew that you were bad at math, okay, you just knew, like you knew from classes and everything, like all your experience was you're just terrible at math, and it really was embarrassing. And then people, like some girl told you you're so good at math, what would you think of her? You wouldn't think much, because it's like, this is meaningless. Like, I appreciate she's trying to say something nice, but like, I'm not good at math. So either she doesn't know math and she's saying that, or she does know math and she's saying that. And so either one is just like weird, because like, I'm not good at math. And I hate being reminded of it too, because I'm good at other things, right? But like, that's actually true in my case, right? So it's like, I don't know, if somebody said it to me all the time, I'd be like, I appreciate it, but I don't know, like weird, right? Weird. At the same time, if they said I'm bad at math, I wouldn't like that, because there's no need to do that, because there's no need to point out my flaws, right? But it's just knowing that someone is not good at something, and they might be insecure about it. They might have a desire to improve it. They might have tried and be frustrated about it. There could be a lot of gunk in there, right? So it's difficult how you handle the fact that women don't see themselves. They always see other women as having more and better. Now, as a man, you can use this to your advantage big time to seduce women. And I use it big time, but I'm not going to get into it in this video. But this is a powerful one. This is the most powerful one, because you have to use it very wisely, this one. So women don't see themselves as sexy, and how you use that to seduce them, right? It's one of the key things you need to know. Yeah, actually. Okay, so what they do in their free time, I think that one is, she's not clear. Again, it's keeping secrets from men. She doesn't even want to write it down. She said, for example, me, blah, 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 blah. Because guys read this like free time. I was like, well, free time doesn't mean anything. Free time is your meaningless time. Like if you lay on the bed, or if you go, to eat a donut, free time. But think about it. Free time, you could crack safes. You could be burying bodies. You could be doing a lot of stuff in your free time. You could be, jerking off to some weird porn. You could be doing a lot of things that people would want to know in your free time. So here's another classic example. That she doesn't even want to tell the other girls what her little secrets are in her free time. That's interesting right there. Okay, and then she doubles down here. Guilty pleasures they may have. Now, this one you want to know. Two of them you want to know. One is how they see their body and what that means, or how women see their bodies and what that means. And the other thing is guilty pleasures. Dude, guilty and pleasures together. That is a very powerful thing for women. Because guilt and pleasure, women love to break the rules. Whatever, like as a parent, if you're a parent, it's really bad to lecture your daughter on something, because that's exactly what she's going to do. She will just have this burning desire to do whatever it is that you are really against, because that is the guilty pleasure. That is the thing that will make her just totally like just quantum pleasure, right? So you have to be, as a parent, you got to be smarter than that. You can't just tell her, don't do that, don't have sex before marriage, don't date that guy from that race. If you do that, you're basically just setting it up to happen. You are totally setting it up, not only to happen, but lifelong. Like it'll always be a guilty pleasure for her, right? You don't want to do that, because this is the way women are built. This one here. And here's the partner to guilty pleasure is dirty secrets. These ones here, I should have called the title Guilty Pleasures, Women's Guilty Pleasures and Dirty Secrets. I think I will actually, the title. Because that's the key. These are the words right here that women really resonate with. These are the things that this tells you so much right here. Dirty secrets. Men never say that kind of stuff. Men don't really say guilty pleasures. That is a female thing. And I think more and more, there's more and more feminized guys who use guilty pleasures. Like, for example, I'm just disgusted now that I'm back in America for a little bit and I'm watching guys, they talk like women now. It's really crazy. Like you'll see guys saying, oh, I am having this chocolate sundae. It's my guilty pleasure. Men just used to not do that. Men used to say, I'm having some ice cream. I like ice cream. I shouldn't eat it because I'm getting fat, but I like it. That's the way men talk, right? If you find yourself, in fact, because guys, it seems to me like Western culture, guys are talking like women now. And they're saying like, I got my guilty pleasure. This one, or they'll point to a sundae and say, this has no calories. And it'll be just a bunch of guys. It's like, no, don't. That is not, just think about it. I'm not telling you what to do, but consider that maybe you've been influenced by society on that one. That's not a natural thing for guys to do. Like guys just naturally accept responsibility for stuff like that. They're like, hey, I eat this, I shouldn't. And it's actually much healthier because you're much more likely to stop in the future too. Like if it really is bad for you, right? Like I know I eat too much chocolate ice cream, but I try at times to eat less. And also I know that I keep an eye on my diabetes, because even though I'm not fat, like if you eat too much sugar, you will have diabetes, right? So I know the reality of the darkness of too much sugar. Like I take it seriously at the same time as I fucking love chocolate ice cream. So it's that balance. I want to not have diabetes much more than I want to eat ice cream. So I'm realistic about that. At the same time as I know that eating ice cream doesn't give you diabetes. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm going to eat ice cream, I'm going to have it. So it's like a man constantly keeps that in mind. It's women just kind of like guilty pleasures. It's like this kind of vague thing that they're basically saying they love and they're always going to do. For me, I love it, but I'm not always going to do it. Like I've gone years without eating chocolate, at times. I just quit because I know I don't want to have fucking diabetes. I don't want to be taking insulin needles, right? At some point, right? There's no guilty pleasures for me. I might have things that I enjoy doing that other people don't enjoy doing. But I don't know. This to me is a lack of control, or a lack of, it's something kind of stupid to me. Like guilty pleasures. That shows a person that to me doesn't know themselves. I don't respect that. Like guilty pleasures. Even just hearing that. It's like, okay.
It's somebody who's ashamed of what they like.
Someone's ashamed of what they like. They don't accept what they like. Right. Yeah, this kind of conversation, if you do find yourself saying this, just consider it. Just think about it for a second. It's okay. If you enjoy saying the word, go ahead. You know what I mean? See what your analysis of that is. But dirty secrets. This here, women have dirty secrets. That's here. Women have dirty secrets. And that's very serious for men. Men need to know that. Because dirty doesn't mean sexual, right? Sexual is very tame. A sexual secret, it's not the same as a dirty secret. It's a very different thing. What is a dirty secret? A dirty secret is a man across town. A dirty secret would be, you can write in here, and there's a lot of women listening now. So what is a dirty secret? Come on. Dirty secret is like if you just have vanilla sex with your husband, but then you get tied up and whipped and stuff by another man, right? It's kind of like a what is that? That movie about the rich guy who.
50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey. It's like 50 Shades of Grey type, stuff. Or if you read the book, My Secret Garden, women talk about their secrets, and they're very dirty, all of them. If you read My Secret Garden, there's 2 books called that. One of them is Women's Sexual Fantasies They Never Tell Anybody, and that is totally worth reading. I read that book. Excellent book. These books give you gold. You'll never be able to, no matter how many girls you sleep with, no matter how many people you talk to, no matter how smart you are, you're never going to figure out how dirty women's secrets are unless you read them. When you read women's secrets, it's almost, I swear to God, as a guy, it's almost like you don't want to read them. They're way dirtier than guys. They just are. They're really dirty. Like, I'm serious. They are absolutely like, you're just reading them like, whoa, holy shit. And the strange thing is, these are the kind of things that they accuse men of doing or of thinking. But men don't. Like, I can tell you, read that book and tell me, as a man, which one do you have? You might have 1 or 2, right? But there's like thousands in there. And they just go on and on. There's depth to these secrets or these fantasies, right? And they're dirty. They're like so dirty. And like, I personally just don't really have that much. You know what I mean? Like, I'll have like things that I'm into for a while, and you're allowed to keep a secret about your sexual fantasies. And part of the reason is because that's the nature of fantasy. Fantasy's not real. And as soon as you start to be too open about it, it's no longer turns you on, right? So it's okay to have a fantasy, and it's okay to not tell people. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, just read that book and tell me your reaction. It might be pretty shocking. Okay, so Dirty Secrets. It's okay. That's the sentence there. For women, it's okay for women. It doesn't say, what about equality? It's okay for people. It's okay for men. When have you read a woman say it's okay for men to have dirty secrets stashed away where women can't find them? Because there are just some things you want to keep to yourself. That's perfectly understandable. Those secrets might be embarrassing or too personal, right? Or only when you're ready should you share. That there at the end is capping. That's capping. You're never going to share them. She's just saying that as an out for the guilt of not telling the truth and deceiving people. Women aren't going to ever say these things, right? That's capping. If you understand the way women think, that's capping, that last part, right? Okay. So either way, she doubles down. Either way, women will always keep secrets from their partner, right? And then here's the part for men. And this is also to let the guilt off. But most of the time, it better be all the time, or it's none of the time. As far as if a secret is serious, it's either nothing to worry about. It's either so your child might have something they do that is not, most of the secrets are nothing to worry about, like playing in the garden or whatever, pulling up plants. But then there's another one where they run across the 5 freeway, a rush hour, with a mask, with a Batman mask on. Like, it doesn't matter if some of the secrets are good. If any of the secrets are dangerous, then you want to know all of them, right? I want to know all of them. Now, I'm not going to be boring and ask her, but I want to figure, like I said earlier, I want to know the whole fucking thing. I want to know what they're hiding. I want to know why they're hiding. I want to be able to use that to my advantage. I want to be able to be appropriate when necessary and allow her to have her privacy, quote unquote, because that's part of self-esteem, is allowing people to have something to themselves. It's one of the things that they do in prison. They take all your things away. Okay, you're not allowed to own anything. That's why people treasure their pen or their paper. It's because we want to own something that we own and nobody else has. It's not public. And that's why jail is so miserable. They figured out everything that we care about and they take it all away, right? Your ability to go to the bathroom when you want, your ability to stay up late when you want. Like they take it all away, and all that stuff together makes you not want to go to jail again, right? It's because you want to own things, right? So it's okay to own things. It's okay to have some secrets. But here she just says, basically, women are going to keep secrets, but don't worry about it. And don't feel bad about it. Yeah. They're just harmless thoughts women have and they don't think of. Not even just don't think of. She's contradicting herself totally there. She's saying they deliberately don't do it because earlier she said the reason was when you're ready. And now they're saying they just don't think of it. She's actually going deeper into lying in the article in front of your face right there, right? That's pretty funny. Now, here's where she is. This is the funny part to me. This is hilarious. Okay, so every time she said that something might be happening, she starts, and then she softens it to make it look like this is the thing. The main thing that women keep saying, what is the main thing? She lets the cat out of the bag. Wanting their partner to be kinkier in bed. Right there. That's the number one thing. That's the number one dirty secret, right? And what does that mean? If you want your partner to be kinky in bed, and you're encouraged to have secrets because they're harmless and they're in your free time, right? What is she telling women right there? Is we understand it's difficult to be honest with your lover, and that might make you look a little bit bad. So the best way to handle this is to, the next thing, go out with your girlfriends and get crazy. Okay? So basically, because you are not comfortable telling your boyfriend or husband the truth, okay, about sex, the reason he's with you, the main thing he wants from you, basically, the number one thing in a relationship, like the difference between friends and a relationship is sex. That's the difference. You don't have sex with your friends. If you do, they give you another name, right? And then if you have sex with a woman, they give you another name. It's because that's the difference. That's society and women and men and everybody, right? Okay, so basically women want you to be more kinky in bed. And they're not going to tell you. And they're going to go out and get it from other women. And it's not harmful because women have a right to secrets. This article is great. Even before she tells you the secrets, she gives it all away. Sometimes a woman's closest friends know more than what their husband or boyfriend see. That's another secret, is that her friends from college, if you ever want to know about your wife, your girlfriend, find her college friends and see if you can get them drunk, and they will tell you, and you will be like, what? No way. But unfortunately, you're probably going to get divorced. So depends on if you want to get divorced or not. Yeah. Okay, so here's some of the secrets. I thought this one was interesting. The number one thing is that women masturbate when you're at home or not. Okay, I never knew women masturbate when I'm in the house. That never crossed my mind, actually. I never thought women would masturbate when I'm there. Because I never masturbate when a girl's there. I'm not going to do, you know what I mean?
Well, they're probably talking about when they're married and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah, I did.
Guys masturbate when they're married.
They're guys masturbate. I guess marriage. Yeah, maybe that's what we're talking about. But the thing.
They wouldn't come over to your house for a day just to
Yeah.
masturbate and then go home for the week. You know.
I don't know. Maybe if you're not having sex, a sexless relationship, they probably do. But anyway, it's interesting because women always they basically make guys' masturbation seem like something dirty, something. It's like a guy, if he has a sex toy, he is an absolute pervert and dangerous. But when a woman has a sex toy, that's beautiful and brave and all that, right? And so masturbation is like very dirty, and like if you ask this same woman, is it okay for a man to masturbate when you're at home? What is she going to say? There's no way. And then she's admitting that women basically all masturbate as soon as the husband leaves for the office, kids go to school, roommate goes out of town. As soon as you have quality time, we touch ourselves. Okay. Sometimes we even do it if you're still in the house. In the quality free time is never going to happen, usually when it's in the bathroom. Okay. That's a good secret. I actually didn't know that. I didn't know that was so popular to do. And peeing outside, I didn't know that one either. I've never heard a woman say that. Because men love to pee outside. I think that's totally cool. That's fine. I'm going to encourage. When I traveled India with girls, I had girls come and visit me when I was in India. I was there for 4 months, and I have girls fly over, and we'd hang out for like 2 weeks or whatever, and they'd fly home. And there was not a lot of bathrooms because we were riding a motorcycle around the countryside, and so we had to go outside. And I noticed that girls really enjoy it, just like I do, because there would be no people. We'd be along the beach or whatever, I noticed that they really seem to take it to it right easy. Now I know why. It's like women like to pee outside too. Makes sense. I love to pee outside. I actually don't like to pee indoors. I don't like to pee in a toilet. I like to go outside. Yeah. In one of my favorite restaurants in Japan, used to have the bathroom was just all these plants growing through this metal grate, and you could pee in the plants. It was like there was no toilet to pee in. There was just like all these plants in this metal grate, and then it would go down and they would clean it, and it didn't smell because it went through the grate. It was a funny place. It was a great restaurant. It was a great idea. If you ever want to do a restaurant, I don't know if a restaurant's not a great business, but it had two good things to it, that restaurant. One was, okay, you had to pay like quite a bit of money to go in. It was like $50 or something. And then when you got in, the prices were like Edo period. So it was like 100th of a yen for like, chicken, or something. So like that's like 100th of a yen. It'd be like a several hundredth of a dollar. So it's like, it's less than 10% of it. Probably a few percent of a penny. Yeah. So it was like, they would ask you to pay the bill. So all the prices were in that way. And then, so you would just eat all this food, you'd order whatever you want. And it was fun. And you were just paying this. And then they were dressed like they were in the Edo period. And then you would go into the bathroom and there was no toilets. And you would just pee into these bushes. It was in Roppongi. And I thought it was a very cool place. I just liked it because you could pee outside and you had paid it. And it was just it was a really unique place. It must have been very expensive because it closed. Because I'm sure like all the keeping it not smelly, the air, suction. In Japan, when they do something, they fucking do it right. Especially back then. Like there was no smell in the bathroom at all. Zero. This spray would come down and clean the plants, and then it would all go down in there. And so it was like when you left, when you closed the door, it was like, and the whole room would just get a spray of water down, and you could hear it, It was very cool. When you come in, it's like it just rained or something. That was quite nice. Anyway, okay. So we pluck hairs. Who cares? We smell your clothes. That's a dumb one not to tell guys. I love it when women wear my shirts. I know it makes them happy.
Girls say that. That's not even a secret. Girls will tell you that.
That's the thing. It's kind of weird that she'd put it in there. Yeah. And it's like something to be proud of because it shows your pair bonding, your connection with somebody, right? Yeah. Women always do that. They love smelling my shirts or they're wearing my shirt. Like I used to think they would just wear it because it was comfortable because it's bigger than theirs, and they were just laying around the house, But they would be very happy, like just big smile on their face wearing my shirt. I was like, that's interesting, Okay. By the way, that is only with a guy they're sexually satisfied with and enjoying the sex. Yeah. That's only in that period. It's when she's still. Um, it's that. It's that period in a relationship, basically, when it's hot, when things are going on, when she's bending over and looking around and like, you know what I mean? Like she's like laughing and you're coming in. It's like that period, right? And then she loves to wear your shirt. As soon as she starts to cut the sex off, um, the other video was when she stops being fun, or yeah, when she's not fun anymore. That video, like that period there, she ain't wearing a shirt anymore. That's over, right? We wished we could be more open. Now here's the funny one. This is crazy. I mean, this to a guy is not even a secret. This is heresy. This is outrageous. This is like unacceptable. This is the whole reason why guys don't want to, guys are going MGTOW, guys are not getting a relationship, is because there's no point. They don't want to be in a relationship with you. They want to be open. See, they're not saying, okay, read the wording. This one here negates the whole reason to get in a relationship. We wished we could be more open and casual about hooking up. They are hooking up. They just wish they could tell you. That is so ridiculous. There is no point in Western women. Like, they're hooking up with other guys. And they wish that they could tell you. They wish, it's like, they don't wish they could tell you. They wish the world was a different way. They wish that
you wouldn't care.
Men aren't what men are. Men do care. And any man who doesn't care is not the same value, not the same quality of man as a man who does care, right? A man who does care is a healthy man. You do care if your woman is getting, spit roasted on Friday night. That you do care about that, right? This is crazy. This one here, open and casual about hooking up. Basically, this says so much, right? What does it say? They don't want to be in a relationship. They're going to trick a good guy. They're going to screw the other guy. Like, this tells you everything that we, like the whole, let's call it the men's movement, all the, groups together, all the videos, types of videos, they're all, this is the heart of it right here. Open and casual. They don't wish you could be more open because then you wouldn't be. All this says is we are going to cheat on you. We are going to lie to you. And we just don't care. Like, we're not going to tell you. The more we, quote unquote, like you, the meaner, the more evil we're going to be with your true intentions and with your true desire. Now, I'm not saying that women, this is the thing. People really misunderstand this. They're going to say, well, this is some kind of I'm going to say height instead of HAT just because it's probably like Haight Ashbury, height, how tall you are. They, people care about the height of women. But it's not true. This is a modern phenomenon. It is a modern phenomenon when you're in a relationship with somebody who cares about you and she's just fucking other guys. That is not that was not always the case. Women did not always do this. This is a result from the 70s. Okay, 60s and 70s it started. Is when this was accepted and women started doing this. And this, here, go ahead and close that. And women started doing this, and it's never going to stop. This is the sad thing. With Western women, it's never going to stop because they enjoy doing it. So as a guy, here's the thing. Don't try to change people. Women enjoy hooking up, and they enjoy cheating. And that's why my Marriage is Doomed video, you should watch it over and over. It's the biggest pleasure because it's the guilty pleasure, right? The guilty pleasure. That's the key thing. It's the guilty pleasure. And this is what modern dating is in the West. There is no point. I mean, unless you see a point, like if you see a point as a guy to having a relationship with a woman on the surface, okay, where you have children, and let's just say she doesn't divorce you, everything works out, and you're paying the bills, you're working hard, and then she does once in a while very, very obligatory sex with you, let's say 12 times a year, and then she gets tied up, spit roasted, blasted on, has to have abortions with her side guys on Tinder. If that is something that you find as a man, you find is no big deal, then go ahead. But to me, this as a man, I very, very rarely do I say you should or shouldn't. You should not accept that. It will destroy you. It will crush you. Do not accept that from women. Do not. Because it might seem exciting. It might be, there's a lot of videos about guys who are cucking, all that. It's fine to have any fantasy you want. That's totally fine. But when you bring reality into this, you're going to be living in hell. Your life is going to be a hell. And it's unleashed the minute you let it happen. You just can't let it happen as a man. It will crush you. It will destroy you. Trust me, 100%. This is something you can never accept. Ever. Never accept. And I mean even once. Don't accept it. If a woman cheats and does that with another guy, you can't accept it as a guy. You can accept being single. It's easy to accept that. It might not be easy. It might not be inexpensive, but you can accept it. But do not go down the road of accepting something that will crush you. It will destroy you. It will destroy you. Don't let that happen as a man. Being single doesn't destroy you. It doesn't. You're single, you're fine, you're happy. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, it might not be all your dreams and everything, but it's not going to crush you. If your woman, the one that you're pair bonded to, is out doing that, and this is the problem. This is what's happening. This is why there's no point in Western society. And I'm going to say straight up, other societies, women have not been infected with this virus as much. And guys will be like, oh, it's all the same. It's not all the same. It's not exactly the same. And that's important. I'm not going to go into the details here. That's not what this video is about. I will say reject any women who have this belief. And that's every woman reading this magazine. Okay? So basically most women, Western women, they accept this. The women are just like, hey, because guys can't accept us doing this, okay, we have the right. And we're sad about it, but that's the way it is. To me, this is just evil. This is fucking evil. Anybody who does that, do not accept this. Fucking run from this. Don't vilify the person doing it. That's not what I'm saying. Don't make her into a devil. Okay? Because it's not about her. It's about you. It's about you as a man, what is okay and what is not okay. It is not acceptable to be doing certain drugs that are going to rot your brain, right? It's not acceptable to get addicted to heroin. It's not acceptable. You got to run from drugs like that. Opiates are so fucking dangerous. You should never do opiates. Like, if there's one rule in life, is don't accept a woman doing this to you and don't do opiates. Those two things. And I would say don't gamble, personally. I think those three things are just like, for men, just don't do them. Your life is so much better if you never do them. You might be able to overcome a gambling addiction. You might be able to somehow keep it under control. You might be able to forgive a woman, and you might just get lucky that she never does it again, but you're never going to know. She's just going to get better at hiding it, and you're going to know she's better at hiding it. And she's going to know that you accepted it once, and that right there makes you a cuck right off. It's just like, it's a dirty road. Don't go down that road. Don't do it. Don't accept the unacceptable. Just don't do it. Run. All costs. No matter what it takes. Solid rule for every man. Don't accept that. Leave. Get out of there. It's going to crush you. There's a lot of life out there. And this, unfortunately, is what most women in the West have been conditioned to not only do and accept, but like kind of to look down on you. The same way, whenever they interview thieves in prison, it's always the same. They always say, like, so what did you do? Say, well, I used to, whatever they did, whatever the crime they did. Let's say they would mug people or rob houses or whatever. And they'd say, well, what was the effect of that? They always say the same thing. What do they say? They always say the same thing. The criminals, they always say the same thing. They always say, well, I did the guy a favor because the guy was too trusting. Like, he's going to know now. I taught him. He's going to learn to not do that again. So in a weird way, I helped him. That's what they're always going to say, criminals. That's the mind. That's the criminal mind. The criminal mind will never take responsibility and say, I'm a bad influence on society. I hurt him and he probably never trust again. And there's 1,000 million ways criminals can fuck him over. I didn't teach him anything. It's like there's a boat with 3 million holes in it. And you taught him how to plug one hole. You know what I mean? It doesn't teach. He's still at risk, right? Society is built on people being good and like criminals being put in jail. It's not built on guys living in fucking dungeons with guns and being protected. It's all about that balance of being able to be free and roam the streets and trust other people. That's what we want. We want to live in a society where it's safe to go outside. That's one of the things I love about Asia is that there's much less violent crime in most parts of Asia that I hang out in. I know there's exceptions, and that's why I don't go there. But I really enjoy, and when I'm here in America, and someone tells me that's a bad neighborhood or you got to, it always bums me out because like I like to live in countries where I can trust, in areas where I can relax. And if you've lived in America your whole life, you don't know, and I'll say this to you, Sean, too, you don't know what it's like to live in a place where you're not going to get violently assaulted. You think you know because you're like, oh, I got myself protected. That's fine. You're smart. You're going to be protected. But when you can let your guard down, life is a lot better. You waste a lot of energy on that, And like I lived in Asia for so long, in Japan and like safe places that in downtown Bangkok in certain areas it was very safe, very fucking safe. Thailand in general is safe, but I was in these safe countries and it was like Shanghai was very safe, very safe. And it's just nice. Like I can fall asleep in a park with my wallet. I can leave my wallet in a restaurant. Someone gives it back to me. It's just, if you ever live there, you'll really think twice about living in the West. You will. I'm serious. It's not worth it. I'm going to move back to Asia. And hopefully there'll be a bunch of guys coming with me. I'm happy to teach you. We can do summits over there, get people comfortable trying new things. Because even just for the crime thing, it is nice to live in a place where there's no violent crime, or very, very, just basically, essentially no violent crime. It allows you to breathe. And see, that's the thing, is that humans, we want to relax. And this is why men get in relationships, is they can trust one woman. She's their woman. That's why it's not the sex, it's the trust. It's like she is your advocate. She's on your side. Right? Western women, they have accepted this dirty deal that basically they're going to have essentially a criminal mind with men. They're going to think, I'm doing him a favor, but it's a total lie. The criminal is just taking it because he's lazy. He doesn't want to do the work it takes to get that money, right? So he's going to steal the money. He knows he's doing wrong. I mean, it's like at some level, but he doesn't want to accept that. He doesn't want to feel bad about himself. It's the same with Western women. They don't want to feel bad about themselves. So they lie to you because if you knew the truth, okay, you would think they're not a good person and you would leave them. And they want your money. It's exactly the criminal mind. That's exactly what the movement since the 60s has been slowly training women, is how to be comfortable with the criminal mind in relationships. That's all it is. It's the exact same thing. I've never heard anybody say it, but that is exactly what it is. It's like, hey, I'm doing him a favor. At the end of the day, I'm doing him a favor. And why am I doing him a favor? Well, because he wouldn't accept me. It wouldn't make, he's too milquetoast. That type of sex would be upsetting to him. It wouldn't turn him on. And so I can lie to him, destroy everything that he's with me for without telling him, and then go and do all the things that he would love to do with somebody else, and then come back and risk giving him a venereal disease and pregnancy, and also destroy my bond with him. Because when you go off and have an affair and get laid, you just become very hard. Okay, I will say that. You become hard. You become hardened. That's what a hardened criminal is. A hardened criminal, the first time he does the crime, he hits the old lady, takes her purse. He looks at her, he feels bad. He still does it, because he needs the drugs or whatever. But eventually, a hardened criminal is like, you know what I mean? Like, he enjoys it. These fucking idiots, and he just goes out and he doesn't have any guilt at all. That's a hardened criminal. I believe that is what the movement has done since the 60s to women. And I think it's very terrible. I really do. I think women have destroyed their souls, selling themselves out. I think it's all a lie. I think women actually, I understand, okay, that dirty secrets are powerful for women. Very powerful, okay? And guilty pleasures. I understand that. And women have always had some form of guilty pleasure, but it was not something that would destroy the man before. You know what I mean? It was like maybe masturbation. That was probably it. And if you go back 300 years, that was probably what it was. It was something like that. Or maybe sitting in a river and the river, washing her vagina and like giving some kind of pleasure, or rubbing up against a tree. That might have been, some kind of guilty pleasure that a woman would have had. And of course, I'm sure it was very pleasurable. And I'm not saying that should be taken away. That's fine. But this is a lie. That's just a guilty pleasure. This invalidates everything, and it hardens women, and it really makes it makes. There's no way at this point. There's no way they can be honest at this point. You know what I mean? How could you how could a woman, like, think about it from a woman's perspective, where modern women are today? How could a woman be honest with you now? Like, where would she start? Like, what if she really wanted to say, hey, look, I've been hooking up with guys for years now, your friend, Tinder, I got, gang banged. I did this. It felt good. Then I fell in love with the guy. I wanted him to leave his wife. He wouldn't leave his wife. And so I came back to you. You bored me, but then over time, I realized that you were a good man, and I kind of got it out of my system. And now I realize that it was all foolishness. I was just a child. It was not smart. I know that I destroyed some of my ability to bond with you, and I just don't, like, when you do nice things for me, I go home and cry because I feel bad that I can't be the person that I was to you. So all that is true and probably won't really change. But I want you to know that. Like, I want you to, I want you to beware, how could a woman do that? Like, they don't leave in themselves any outs, because the things women are doing to guys these days, there's no room for compromise. There just isn't. There's no room for compromise. It's like beating up your grandmother and taking her purse. I know a guy in Japan, and when he was in a motorcycle gang at Bosozoku, he told me, He would like basically go home, beat up, like bully his grandmother. If she didn't give him money, he would like fucking slap her and then take her purse and then go spend the money. And then she died. And she was a really nice person. He felt so, he could never make amends for that. It was like so bad. And even when he told me, partly why I'm saying it is I could never, he seemed like such a nice guy and everybody thought he was such a, oh shucks kind of guy. Fuck. He wasn't even a drug addict either. He was an alcoholic, but it wasn't, alcohol doesn't really make you do those things. Maybe he was doing more drugs than I knew. There's a little bit of an excuse if you're doing that many drugs. There's a point where drugs just take you over. Maybe he was, but he never talked like that. I don't think he was. There was something in him that allowed him to do that. That was one thing about going to 12-step meetings is people would tell things. And I'm no idiot. I've been going to meetings since 87, 35 years. And they'll tell me a story, or they'll go to a meeting and tell a story. This is a good one, actually. This is just on the same line. People think that once they tell the truth, that it's always forgiven. Don't forgive, okay? I'm not saying never forgive, but don't just naturally forgive. Always think to yourself, who is this person? What type of person would do that? Always consider that. Because I remember I was at a meeting and I was at a meeting and I was sponsoring a guy. He's like a guy that I'm helping. Basically, think of it as like, yeah, I'm coaching the guy. I'm like his life coach, right? And we're still very good friends today. His name's Jeff. And Jeff said, I said, what do you, after the guy's speaker got done, he was waiting in line to thank him. And I said, Jeff, what are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm waiting to thank the speaker. And he was like kind of lost. He was kind of like, oh, I feel so good. Like he told the truth about such a terrible thing. And I said, Jeff, get out of line, Jeff. And I said, Jeff, that guy's a psycho. Okay, I'm not going to tell what the story was because I think YouTube might even censor me based on the story. It was a bad story. It wasn't what he did, what he thought about doing. Okay, it was what he was planning on doing. And I said, Jeff, if anybody says they were thinking of doing that, never trust them again. There are lines in this world. There are certain things that if somebody thought of something, they are mentally disturbed. There's certain things that normal people never think about. And this was one of them. This was something you read about in the paper, like the worst crime of, you know what I mean? Like, you do not, no normal person. I said, have you ever thought of doing that? He's like, oh, no. And I'm like, neither have I. You know why? Because we're not psychos. I said, he's telling you that he's a total psycho. And he's passing it off as, I'm going to admit my secrets to you. And we're all the same. It's like, that's possibly true, depending on what it is. Some things we are all the same. I'd love to hear a guy telling something he did that is embarrassing, that I also did, that I was embarrassed about, that I never told anybody. But it's like something that you might do if you have a problem, right? It's like, wow, like it feels so good to hear somebody else admitting that and realizing you're not a bad person. It's like we have things in common. And then you realize I got to a point I don't want to be that person, right? But it's another fucking thing. If the guy tells a totally psycho, criminal, terrible fucking story, and that he was thinking about, that is not normal. So your brain, you need to be able to separate these things, right? That's why I'm saying give up on Western women, is because so many women are in this mindset now that it's okay. And they actually think it's like this, it's like this girlhood thing to have these secrets. It is not okay. I'm saying that for women mostly, is because I don't think most women that are accepting this are psychos. I think that they have been brainwashed into thinking that this is like, they're not thinking about what this means to a man. A man will commit suicide over stuff like that. What do they call it? They call it slippery slide or something. You're not supposed to say certain words. Mm-hmm. Like slippery slide. Guys will consider or even do the slippery slide when they hear their woman has done stuff like this. When they really find out what she's done, guys will take the slippery slide sometimes. And I think that is ridiculous. Okay, never do the slippery slide because somebody did something, right? It's about you. It's what you did. Okay. If you didn't do something like that, then like something that's evil, equally, like I was saying, like criminal, like don't do it because somebody else did something bad. Never do it because somebody else did something bad. Of course, it might hurt you. They did something bad, but you didn't do it. At the end of the day, it's not you. Like we were just talking about last night. Somebody told a terrible lie about me. And I found out like 20 years ago. And I just found out what it was. And it's like, it was really terrible. And it had a terrible effect on my life too. But at the same time, the bottom line is that the good thing is, it really hurt me. Okay, I'm not kidding. It was a really terrible lie. But I know it's a lie. Right? It's not me. And so I know that a guy has to be very insecure to tell a lie like that. He's got to be because I was a good friend to him. So if you're a very good friend to somebody and they tell a lie like that, they did you a favor too, because you're no longer having to deal with this person who's so envious and insecure that he does something like that. And that's why, if you want to know about male envy, insecurity, go back and listen to the first two Ronin mans, because if you listen carefully, people will say this is about women, and he's like this about women. Those two videos, I very clearly say, the most dangerous thing is an envious man. To any man, it's not a woman. A woman can only do so much. A man can really he can do some pretty evil stuff. You got to beware of envy in males. That's one of the worst. That's the one that's not logical. It's emotional. And it's just, they will do the most envious males. That's why you never want to go down that road of envy. If you're going down that road of envying another man, you really need to get honest about it. There'll be people that do things and can do things you can't do. You have to learn to be at peace with that. You have to be at peace with the man you are and knowing that you can't do some things. It's not just some things you can save money and do, but some things physically you don't have. And some things you just can't do because of your age or whatever. You can't do them and you can't go back. And you have to learn to accept who you are as a man. And the thing is, you got a lot to be proud of. So there's stuff to work with there. But these guys that don't go down that road, just like these women that are not accepting their darkness and are allowing other women to influence them, it's okay. You can rob that old lady. She deserves it. Don't worry. Her kids will help her. She wasn't really hurt going down the stairs, like she's got all that padding on. It's winter time, endless excuses. You had a hard, all these excuses, right? It's just bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, right? Don't accept it in yourself. Do not accept it in women, right? I think I'm going to end on that.